Hello and welcome to Authentic Driving Podcast. With me, Abia Sonia Ebenezer Bamigbayan. I am in the business of transforming life positively through counseling, life coaching, and speaking. I also express myself through writing as well. Have you read my book, Inner Harmony? Resilience Beyond Chronic Stress and Burnout. This book is available on Amazon, and I'm sure it will transform your life. Welcome once again for joining me on Authentic Thriving Podcast. This is a safe space for soulful truth where we talk about our mental health, emotional well being, and everything that will help us to thrive authentically in a very holistic way. Welcome back to this new episode. So, on this episode on Authentic Driving Podcast, we are going to be speaking on a very interesting topic beneath the facade, exploring the mind of a single independent woman. If you notice, I said we. I did not say I did not say I this time. I'm going to be speaking on. So that's because for the very first time in Authentic Driving Podcast, we are having a guest. And you will know why this guest is very, very important by the time we get into the nitty-gritty of the conversation. So thank you so much, Uche, for joining me today on this podcast. I don't think I'll be able to do it justice to introduce you, so I'm just going to ask you to introduce yourself right now, okay?
Well, wow, that is now you're putting me on the spot because I already had my hopes high that you're going to be the one introducing me. Well, my name is Uche. I'm a 38-year-old female, single, working class. I live my life just like everybody else. Um, I'm a single mom of one. Um, but that will not be. I don't want it to be the main topic for the day. So yeah, that's why I said, a single, not a single mom, and I want people to clearly understand what the difference between that is. So yeah, I have hobbies. I go to the gym. I
Oh,
train a lot. Um, I work a lot. I sing in the choir. Yeah, so that's really me in general. Um, Not much, but sometimes it feels like a bit much, but it is what it is. So yeah,
absolutely.
that's me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your modest introduction. Now, if you want to keep fit, you want to lose weight, you want to be in shape, right? This is the woman that you should be looking for, right? This is the woman that you should be looking for. When you see her in the gym, she's on the, as in like a moving train. If you're not going to move, she's going to move you out of the way. She is I exercise when I see her with that head stuff on her head, and she's going on on a serious boom, 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 boom. I'm like, who is this lady? Whoa. She's intense, but still intense, but still very, very approachable. So maybe we should do like a gym this thing. I'll just be because I don't think I'll be able to stand up par with you. I'll just be like your camera woman, then I can join in so people can see what I'm talking about. Anyways, we're gonna just move on. So the topic is about, I like this topic, the facade, exploring the mind of a single independent woman. So the first question I'm gonna quickly ask you is, are there any misconception that you've seen about single mothers that you like to address? I just wanted to start with that before we dive in. Are there misconception out there? Because you said something, you are single, but you're not a single mother. Is that what you said at the intro?
Well, I said in the intro about me, I want them to be two separate things because every single time people have finally ended up merging the two things together,
Hmm.
that nobody knows where the lines are in terms of perspective, in terms of characters and behaviors,
Hmm.
and things that you should or shouldn't do, or things that you I wouldn't call it deserve, but the way that you portray yourself and the way that society sees you. Um, so that was why I said I live on a separate world of it, and a lot of people don't. They don't, especially single women, they don't live on a separate world anymore. The moment they become mothers or find themselves in a position where they are single mothers, they don't know where their line is anymore. So they merge these two things together and they live their life according to it, and
Mm.
society sees them according to it, and people approach them according to this. And it can be something that they're constantly juggling with, because there is a part of you that wants society to see you as a single woman. But because your actions, your words, your behavior, your characters, your perspectives reflect that of a single mother, the single woman is no longer there anymore. So the attributes and the things that people say to you, or behaviors or actions towards you, reflect only that of a single mother rather than a single woman.
Mm.
And that is one of the misconceptions that people have about single women and single mothers.
So there's a bit of an enmeshment there, whereby they are kind of, interwoven.
Yes.
If you don't mind, for people that are listening, who is a single woman and who is a single mother? What is the difference between the two? Because there are some people that don't even know they're doing it.
Exactly. Exactly. A single woman is a woman who is not in any in any form of relationship, legally or otherwise. Um, a single woman is a woman who is by definition, in any legal way, or like I said, otherwise, is not attached to any form of partner.
Mm.
So yeah, that is a definition of a single woman. Um, that on its own is a definition of a single woman. Now, a single mother is a definition of this woman, this said woman, who by chance or in any way or in any form is has found themselves in a position where they are caring for a dependent, whether birthed or adopted or in any way, shape, or form. Now, if they are doing it by themselves, not by the help of another person, so these are women who are responsible for looking after another human being, and they are
Wow.
doing this by themselves. So these are people who are categorized as single mothers.
Mm. Right.
So there
Right.
is that transition from being a single woman to being a single mother. But
Right.
these two things are separate
Right.
and should stay separate. But you as a person is the person that is the one that has to separate them,
Mm.
and then make it obvious to the society that they are two separate entities. And then the society will be able to understand and address you accordingly.
Mm. Uche, I just feel you're schooling me as well. I'm not even gonna lie. I feel really schooled right now. And it's a topic that I don't think I've heard anywhere, whereby people just think because you are a single woman, you have to enmesh it to a single mother. There are people that are actually single. They don't have any child with them. There are people that are single parents, and they are also a single woman.
Yes,
But there are people that are single mothers. They might be dating. That's what you're saying
yes,
now, right? Wow.
yes,
Wow, Uche, that is a topic on its own. No. That is a topic on its own. Because he said if you don't place yourself in the right way, then you're not going to be addressed properly. People that
yes,
themselves in this situation, how then can they position themselves in such a way that they are being addressed in the right way? Because I just feel that there's this belief that when someone is a single parent, they see them as being weak. There's a lot of things that are being attached to it, they see them as being irresponsible. They see them as people that are impatient. They see them as women that are not submissive. That word
Mm.
itself, I have a problem with submissive. I have a problem with it. Maybe I need to address that at some point. What is submission? Or is it when you lose yourself? Is that what we call submission? Because what you are saying right now, there are many layers to this. And if we begin to unpick it, I don't think this podcast is going to be short like I want it to be. Women that have found themselves in this position, how can they help themselves out and get that clarity to position themselves and present themselves in a better way so that they can get the respect that they deserve?
Well, we have to start with the conception of the mind.
Mm,
We as single women, we tangled that in the first place. We can't blame society. We can't even blame men. We've tangled that in our mind, and we've roughened it up and put it out there. It's up to us. Like, when a company produces something and there is a defect on it, they have
mm,
to call it back.
mm,
It's like calling back. You have to call all that back, call it all the way back, and then separate it,
mm.
adjust it, readdress it, and then put it back there.
Yeah.
So now, for you to be able to do that, you have to be able to sit down and re-educate yourself. Try to understand what these two separate entities mean on their own. Ask yourself what a single woman is. Analyze that, put it on a separate plate. And then ask yourself who a mother is, because you're playing two roles.
Mm,
Now, it's like, if you don't know, or you don't understand, or you don't know how to do it, I believe that you have friends who are not single, who are in a
mm,
relationship, or who are wives. Now, those are mothers. Leave everything else that they have going on in their life. Take the motherhood out of that. And then go to your friend who doesn't have kids, who are single. They don't have a partner, they don't have children. Now, remove everything else that they have or they don't have. Take away the womanhood in that has to do with them. Put the two of them on the table and analyze the two of
mm.
them. Now, as a woman, you understand what it, because before being a mother, you were once a woman.
Nice. Yes.
So before being a mother, you were once a woman.
Mm,
And being a mother doesn't stop you from being a woman.
mm,
So now you have to be able to go back to the drawing board. Ask yourself, who was I and what was I when I was a woman? Before the whole children coming, before the whole drama or whatever else that came after that, before it came, who was I? Because, like you said about submission, people tend to lose themselves. And it's not just about losing yourself in the midst of partnership or anything else. People also lose themselves to motherhood. You lose your womanhood to motherhood. And once you've done that, you've merged the two of them together. And now that is now who you are. But because sometimes the society don't even know how to address those two mergers, that is why you find society pushing you towards the type of motherhood that involves, like, the full-on parenting household, the full two parents household. You find, for example, in church that you are now a member of the women's association because you're a mother, not because you're a wife, because you're a partner, or a full-on household, because you're a mother. Society, the church have put you there. Sometimes you might be sitting there, there might be a part of you that is thinking, what the hell am I doing here? There might be some topic and some conversations that could come up, or the way that they look at you, or the way that they talk, or the way that they give those snide comments and shades and things when they want to discuss issues. Don't get me wrong, issues pertaining them, which if you were in that particular position, wouldn't have been a problem for you. But because you're not, it makes you so uncomfortable. It makes the discussion awkward, even to them. But they have to accommodate you in that aspect and in that regard. And you have to sit there and you have to pretend that you are enjoying it. But you know that none of the things that they are saying there pertains to you and have anything to do with you. Now, the teachings that probably concerns you is probably being done in the youth program. But you're not allowed to be part of the youth program because, according to them, you are now a mother. So that no longer resonates with you. But they're teaching the youth the things that needs to be to help them. Maybe the teachings that they're teaching them, the things that they need to do, and things that needs to help them when they get into families, when they start their own families. But you, as a single woman, that is the teaching that you are supposed to be listening to, because you are still looking to start your own families, and you are still looking to settle down, or however they want to put it. I don't call it settling down, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm settled. As far as I'm concerned, I am settled. Settling down, people don't understand that is the whole story. But if you're looking for a partnership, for a companionship, to build a life, a different type of life with someone, that is technically the place that you need to be, and the words that you need to be listening to. But instead, you are over there listening to how to make your marriage work, how to be a submissive wife or a submissive partner, how to deal with a partner that is whatever, and you haven't even gotten yourself to that point. You see where this is. I'm just even talking just about religion. You see where they have merged you together, and they are forcing you to toe that line. Now, they can't help you in regards of, because the teachings that they teach in that place, they can't come to the married women's seminars or workshops and be teaching them how to get a man. Be teaching them how to get into a successful relationship. They are already in a successful relationship, hopefully. So that particular topics are not for you. So this is why I said, when you get your mind right, you will be able to school the society. You will be able to educate the religions about where you are. And the most important thing is that you shouldn't never be ashamed to do that. A lot of people are riddled with shame that forces you to sit in an environment or organization where you shouldn't be sitting. Listening to things that is not meant for you, at least not in that particular time anyway. Or you are ashamed to move over to the side that is meant to be beneficial to you, to the life that you want for yourself. You are ashamed of what the youth are going to think. You are ashamed of but you want what the youth want. That is why you are there. That is why they are being taught what they are being taught. So why can't you be a part of it? So when you start separating these two things, it forces the organization, it forces the society to take a different approach when they want to deal with you. Because they have to tell themselves and remind themselves that this person knows where they are. They know who they are. They know where they belong. They know the things that they are supposed to be, where their environment and discussions that they are supposed to be having. So most of the times when they want to have certain discussion that doesn't pertain to you, they will not call you. In all honesty, they will not call you. And it becomes your prerogative whether you want to attend or not. But they will not see it as mandatory. And when you go over to the side where you need to listen to what you need to listen to, they will not judge you. Because we get this perspective, we get this thing in our mind that we are being judged. And it stops us in our track from doing the things that we're supposed to do, achieving the things we are supposed to achieve, benefiting the things that we are supposed to benefit, because we are being judged. Now, for me, I think to myself that whoever is playing judge and jury in my life is only going to execute the outcome on their own. Whatever decision that you have come up with that pertaining to me will not have any impact on me, because it wouldn't even make it anywhere close to me. So you make that decision. People are allowed imaginations. People are allowed to talk. People are allowed to. You have to understand that it's okay. They're judging you. It's okay. They're talking about you. It's okay. They're gonna talk about somebody else next. So why would you allow that to hinder you, to stop you in your tracks from benefiting to benefit? So take away everything, put them all, set them all out in the table, separate your card, put the things that need to be where they need to be, and then put it back out there. And then when you've done that, make sure that you stop anybody on their track who tries to mesh them together. Educate people on who you are. Listen, there is always a wording that I always like to use. I say, if you don't tell the society who you are, they will tell you who you are, and they will expect you to act accordingly. You have a voice for a reason. That is why you see people of different genders, people of different sexuality voicing it out, shouting it from the rooftop.
Thank you so much for supporting Authentic Thriving Podcast. I really do appreciate your time. I appreciate you sharing with friends and family. But there's just one thing I would like to ask you. Have you subscribed yet? Authentic Thriving Podcast cannot be in every household if you do not share. I am really, really asking you for a favor. So please subscribe, share with people, share your status so that we can bring more interesting topic. And also, is there a topic that you feel like we have not addressed yet and you think a lot of people will benefit? Please share with us. We're going to be sharing our email address where you can send your questions to that we can easily just answer as well. And if there is any guests that will be able to also join me in answering these questions, then I'll do well to also sort for them. Thank you so much. If any of the topic that has been discussed in Authentic Thriving Podcast affect you or you feel like you need more support with it, visit our website, which is www.asebconsultancy.com. Okay, I'm going to also write it on the screen so that I just keep flowing and then you can easily see it. So if any of the topic affected you, just visit www.
This is who I am. And when it comes to doing anything else that doesn't concern me, no problem. But when you want to come near, close to me, when you want to come when you want to cross that boundary to get to me, this is what I'm expecting from you. I don't expect anything less. And people will adjust. The world will adjust.
You know, there's this quote I normally say, you train people on how to treat you. And that is the truth. Everything that you've just said is first your mindset. Your
Exactly.
mindset, because the battle we fight in this world is start from the mind. If you can win the battle of the mind, I call myself the inner harmony queen. You win always. Now, is it a state that you achieve at once? No, it's not. It's a journey. It's a journey that you begin to equip yourself in order for you to remain in that state. There will be things that will come that will shake the foundation of that inner harmony. You learn and you move.
Exactly.
You don't stay there in shame. You don't stay there in regret. You don't stay there in guilt.
Exactly.
Those emotions are disempowering. Those emotions they kill your motivation. They make you lose your identity to them. And then you become paranoid. When you
Yes.
were talking, when you said separate, I love the way you separated them. Before you became a mother, you were a woman. Even after you became a mother, you are still a woman. Put it on one card. Now that you are a mother, put it on one card. Now, let's talk about it. What are the expectations of both of them? And how are you going to present yourself going forward? I've never really thought about the church one that you talk about. When you say, because you're not a single mother, they were expect you to be in the mother's department, in the women's department. Meanwhile, you are not married, fully married yet, so you don't have a partner. So most of the discussion there is not going to be important or relevant to you. So why don't you go to the youths, the young adult side, whereby they can equip you in order for you to build a good life? The fact that you have a child doesn't mean it's the end of the world, that you cannot build the family that you want. You may not even want to. You may even want to remain like that. We don't know. But that does not mean you will stop existing as a woman going forward. So for those of you that are out there that are in these similar circumstances and you feel ridiculed because of your position, because of your status, Uche is giving you permission to learn how to separate, present yourself accordingly, and train people on how to treat you. Now, having said that, it's not like you're going to be able to change everybody. That's fine. One thing I'm building on is learning to focus on my focus.
Exactly.
Anything that I cannot, that is with outside of my control, is not in my focus.
Exactly.
If it bothers me, and I try my best to present my case and it's not being addressed, once I lose my focus, that thing doesn't bother me again. I remove my focus away from it and I focus on what is within my power
Yes.
because I want to preserve my energy, I want to preserve my time. And then I allocate you to the right position where you're supposed to be. If you are in the
Exactly.
inner carcass, you are disturbing my peace in that inner carcass. You relocate back outside the carcass where you're supposed to be. Then my focus is no longer on you. So that is what Uche is saying. Know who you are. Some people don't even know who they are. They are not wearing this badge on their head. Oh, single mother, single mother, single mother. You are a human being. You are a woman. Nothing. You are a career woman. Nothing. You are no longer calling all those things. You've just lost all your identity and meshed yourself to something else. Uche, this thing that you're saying, you and I know is not an easy journey to build this mindset, right?
Of
Would you
course.
just tell me the internal resources that you've tapped into to overcome all these challenges, to build yourself as this woman that is? Because what I see, you are no longer reactive, you are not proactive because you already present yourself the way you want to be perceived. So you are not ready to start saying, oh, after the fight, before and after, say, this is who I am. No, you are saying before there will be no fight. I'm just telling you, this is how I want to be treated. This is who I am. What resources did you tap into to get into this state?
One of the main resources that you need to tap into is fear,
Wow.
is your fear. Yeah. People might think that it's not a resources, but it is.
Huh.
Fear holds you back in a
Mm,
lot of ways. Now, I was speaking to a friend of mine, and the way she's moving at the speed of light, and it gives me joy because it took me a while, to get her to a place. And she always says to me that one of the things that helps her is she never forgets um, a message that I gave her one day.
mm,
I said to her, I want you to, I don't know whether you want to write it down or imagine it or however you want to do it, but in the situation that you are that is holding you back, I want you to imagine the worst thing that could happen,
mm,
like the worst of worst that could happen. If you take this step, don't imagine the light one, the lighter one, the medium, the worst. That is the worst of it that could happen. When you have imagined it, pull it out of that imagination, put it on the table, tell it, come here, sit down, let's have a conversation.
mm,
And the worst of worst for her was being, like being probably thrown out of the house.
mm,
I'd imagine thrown out of the house, being maybe taking her kids away from her, and throwing her out of the house. I say, okay, that's the worst that would happen. You lose your kid and lose your home. Is that the worst? He said, yes. Bring that worst, put it on the table. Have a conversation with it. Because when you do that, you start realizing that worst doesn't have as much power as you're giving it. Now, that is one of the most important tools, fear. Take your fear out, bring it down. I'm not saying overcome your fear, jump your fear. I'm saying imagine your fear, the worst that could happen. Bring it out, sit down with it, and go through it. I say, okay, let's assume that the worst just happened. What would you do? So many people have been crippled by that fear that they can't even see an alternative. They can't even see the next things. They can't even see the next step. They can't even see a solution because they're so focused on the fear without realizing that there is a solution to everything. There could be a solution to everything. But the fear wouldn't allow you to move past that problem to be able to see or to notice that there is a solution somewhere. So one of the tools to tap into is fear. And then another tool, facing your fears, bringing them out. Another thing that is a tool for you to tap into to be able to do this is making peace. Make peace with the fear. Make peace. Be at peace with yourself. Now, I have made peace with myself. Do I want to have a partner? Yes. But what's the worst that can happen? That I will not get all my life. Is that the worst? Yes. I've made peace with it. I've made peace. I've come to terms with it. It's like when somebody is on their deathbed, you know, when you have people who are on their final stages. What do they normally say about the final stage? They tell you to make peace with them. Embrace it. Don't see it as something so horrifying. It sits by your side. Have a glass of wine with you. You have a conversation, have a chat. Does it mean that it's going to come and take you immediately? You know, could live another 100 years. But you've made peace. You've taken away the mask. You've taken away the power. You've given it back to yourself. Facing that fear, bringing that fear, making peace with it. These are two powerful tools. Be at peace with yourself. When you finally separated the card, be at peace with the outcome. Be at peace with the outcome of this side. Be at peace with the outcome of that side. Be at peace that a lot of people are not going to accept it. Be at peace that a lot of people are going to try to fight it. Be at peace with it. See, when you are at peace, trust me, there is very little thing that can faze you. Very little thing that can faze you. And then another tool is acting accordingly. When I say acting accordingly, I mean, if you have decided to be this woman, act accordingly. Act as a woman. When the need to be a mother arises, act as a mother. Don't merge when you start becoming conscious, living in the conscious, becoming conscious of this. There is something that I always say. What was the time I was in the shop and I was with my son, and somebody said, made a comment, oh, you know, everything we do everything for them. They come first. My son was standing right next to me. I said, hey, point of correction. I come first. And then my son comes second. And he turned around and looked at my son and said, yes, it's true. He knows that I come first. And then he comes second. And then everybody else joins. Because this is how you lose yourself. You put your kids You've put that. You've put that. You've put that. Anything that comes first comes after you. Because after first, before first, there is nothing. No, there's nothing before first. So once you've count this thing first, you count yourself out.
Mm.
Once you've count something first, you've already counted yourself out. You are not meant to be second or third or fourth or fifth. Not to your own self anyway. So once you put something first, you can't count yourself second. You can't count yourself third. You can't count. You've automatically eliminated yourself from the equation.
Mm.
Just because I say my son comes second, does that mean I care less about it? Does that mean that I don't work, everything that I'm working for is not for him? Does that mean that I'm not going to look after him? I'm not going to protect him? I'm not going to do my motherly duties and job? No. But whenever I say I come first, is a reminder. He set something up in my mind. Is a reminder to myself. Is a reminder to the woman in me. Is a constant reminder. So don't ever feel like putting yourself first. Don't ever feel like making the woman first, because the woman, like I said, the woman comes before the mother. Don't ever feel like keeping that woman as a number one is a bad thing. Don't ever feel guilty of doing it. Don't ever feel ashamed of doing it, because that woman is who is sustaining the mother, that is carrying the family, is that woman. So the moment you eliminate her, there's nothing left.
You
The
see, that's
world
where
will
the
not see her anymore.
bitterness,
The
that's where the
society will not
bitterness.
see her anymore. She
Mm.
will be the inner voice, battling, shouting, screaming in silence to be heard, but nobody's going to hear her. Why would anybody hear her? You've already eliminated her. Why? Why would anybody hear her? Nobody is going to hear her. Nobody is going to see her, because you've taken her out of the equation. So never be afraid, never be ashamed, never feel guilty of keeping that woman. Wherever she is, go back wherever and find her, bring her back and put her back in her position. Give her back her throne. Give her back her crown. And let the society, let the rest of the world adjust. Even your children will adjust. Your husband will adjust. The society, your work, everybody will adjust.
Mm.
So these are some of the tools that I can come up with at the moment off the top of my head.
You see, that's a drop mic moment. You said bring her back to every woman out there who has, because of different labor, Mrs., Prof, Dot, Doctor, Madam, wife, mother, you have lost you. Please go back and bring her back. Bring the woman in you back. Bring your identity back. We're shouting from, oh, we always have different hashtag for different movements. Now we're starting a new movement. Bring back the woman back. Bring you back. Because if you don't, you will regret it. If you don't, you are going to be bitter slowly. If you don't, you become envious and jealous. If you don't, those same children that you are putting front become before you, when they start progressing, when they start flying away and building their own nest, you will expect too much of them. You will hold them back. Whoever come into their life, you will want to remind them, I did this for them. I did that for them. Why can't you allow them do this? You will blame every other person in their lifetime because you feel you are being replaced, because you feel your life has been on hold and you have given everything. It is their turn to now serve you back And if they refuse to buy into that your agenda, you will start falling out with your children and you'll be wondering. And these are the statements that will come out after everything I've done, after all the sacrifice that I've sacrificed for you. You are not
Exactly.
abandoning me in this old age. Auntie, Mama, nobody is abandoning you. You abandon yourself first. Give to yourself what you expect other people to give you. Period. If I
Exactly.
cannot afford a Louis Vuitton bag, I will not expect my husband or my friends to buy me a Louis Vuitton bag for my birthday. Because if they don't, I will not get angry. Because first, I can't even afford it.
Exactly.
So why then am I going to be upset? If I cannot go to a restaurant and pay certain amounts, if my friends and my spouse refuse to take me to that restaurant, I cannot be upset with them. If I cannot book a holiday for myself in certain places and my spouse or my friends cannot buy into that holiday, I cannot be upset with them. You see, if you have refused to put yourself first, don't be angry if nobody decides to prioritize you. Because you've
Exactly.
taught your children that you belong to the back end. So when they start flying away, they're also going to be put you in the back end. Now, I'm just going to quickly share a story because Uche might be saying this, people might be like, this is just our own experience. A map of the world is not my map of the world. Let me tell you a story. There's a woman, she had 3 boys. Whenever she's cooking in the house, she'll give all the food out and she will eat the bottom part, as in what is left. Oh, boys
Mm.
eat a lot, men eat a lot. Feed her husband, feed
Yeah.
the 3 boys, and she will eat the burnt part and everything. That's what she will eat.
Mm.
They will go out, they will buy food and everything. Oh, mom, do you want to drink with your food? So I don't worry, it's okay, you can have it. So the children were watching, the husband is watching and everything. She trained them that she is second best, that she doesn't mind the latter end of the things. And when these children grow up, they will go and do their own thing. They don't really come back. When it's her birthday, they don't really celebrate her. They don't even send anything. And she started crying to her husband that what is going on? She sacrificed everything. And when her husband called the children, do you know what they said? Oh, we thought mom doesn't mind.
Mm.
We thought mom doesn't mind about those things. We thought she's not really bothered. We thought she's not really a birthday person. Okay, what about Mother's Day? People don't even say flower. We thought mom doesn't like flower. You never bought her flower. She never complained.
Uh-huh.
Ah,
Mm-hmm.
the woman just sat them down. Her husband invited them over. And this is when she told them that everything that I did, that I said I did not mind, I mind. I only did it because I wanted to sacrifice. We didn't have much then raising you up. So I had to be the sacrificial lamb. They said, we didn't know. We thought you were not just a fussy person. We thought you didn't really, you're not really bothered about those things. And she cried. She said, I do mind. I don't like to
Oh,
be treated like a queen. I don't like to be celebrated. I don't like the good things of life. But Mama, we never saw you give those things to yourself. So we did not know. And that was how things begin to change for her. This is a story. Now, we are not saying do not look after your children because there are also stories of people that will always tell their children, oh, I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time. And when they got older, the children put them in a care home. And when they call them, the carers, your mom is ill, you say, oh, I'm really busy. I don't have time. We know that we are
mm.
not saying that. If you listen properly, Usha said everything she's still doing is because of her son. However, she is the one driving a red car. In coaching, there's something that we call the red car. Whoever holds the
Mm.
steering of your red car is the one that is controlling your life. So what Uche is saying is that she is the one that is driving a red car. It doesn't mean a child cannot be on the front seat of the car. It doesn't mean
Exactly.
they cannot be occupants of the vehicle that she's driving of her life. So let's set this thing very, very separate because this is where the enmeshment come in, and then start getting upset. People start holding their children into unnecessary accountability that those children don't even know they signed up
Exactly.
for.
Exactly.